Do you get triggered by doing vision boards and setting goals? Well, if you do, you're not alone. Let me tell you, so many people at this time of the year are talking about setting their goals and dreaming and envisioning and making vision boards and all these lovely things. And whilst they sound wonderful, many people are really backed off by them. And I know personally, I was myself. I used to be very backed off about setting goals and making vision boards. And recently I ran a challenge, a letting go challenge in December. And towards the end of the workshop, we did a goal setting and vision boarding, not really goal setting, vision boarding and dreaming. And I know that a lot of people commented that they found it really, really difficult because for several reasons. So if you're one of those persons, this is what today's little episode is all about. I'm going to share my musings on this and my own personal experience. So starting off with my personal experience, years and years ago, when I was first introduced to goals and goal setting and vision boarding, I found it a wildly creative process. I loved the idea that I could set intentions and start creating my reality. And I loved the creative process in putting pictures on a board and coming up with different ideas. I loved that process very much. And it gave me great inspiration for going ahead, and also gave me some focus on what I wanted to focus going forward. And as beautiful as that process was for me, time after time, year after year, I would get halfway through the year and look at the board, and it was like, well, I hadn't achieved my money goal, hadn't achieved my relationship goal, hadn't achieved blah, 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 blah. And it started to make me feel like a real failure, because year after year, I would set these goals. They were usually, no, I wouldn't even say that unattainable, but the plan of action seemed too hard. Like every day I need to take action on this and action on that and do this and do that. And it was overwhelming. And so eventually it just, went by the wayside, and that just parking it and ignoring it was exactly the thing that made these belief systems come up within me. Well, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve all these things, because otherwise I would have them. I've worked really hard and I still haven't got these things. Or it's just, unattainable. Maybe I'm never supposed to have these things. And so I lost faith, as it were, lost faith in myself, lost faith in the process and the trust in the process, and certainly lost the inspiration of creating a vision board. Later on, and this only goes back perhaps 2 years ago, I suddenly realized that it was putting so much pressure on me to create these things that as I said, I didn't do them anymore. But when I saw other people doing them, I felt this twinge, well, I should have something like, some kind of North Star to point me towards, because it does give you, as I said, some inspiration of how to move forward, instead of being stuck. Because if we stay stuck in that place of, I can't do this, I've got nothing to look forward to, or this is not worth it, I'm not worth it, it never happens to me, I'm a failure, etc. If we stay in that place, we can't move forward. That's where we get stuck. When people say, I feel stuck, I have no direction, I'm stuck, it's that place that they're stuck in. Their self-esteem is so low, their self-worth is so low, because of all the failures of that vision boarding and it not coming to fruition, or we're not being able to manifest our dreams that are on the vision board. It leaves us in that stuck place. So what I'm recommending for myself, what I found out and what I would like to invite you to explore is a different way of vision boarding. So let go of the fixed goals. Let go of the goals. I need to earn this amount of money. I need this kind of job, or this kind of car, or I want this kind of relationship, or blah, blah, blah. Because, if the more detailed you get, supposedly the more detailed you get in that vision, in that dream, in that goal, the better, because then you get to feel all the details. But by doing that, we are remaining very fixed to something very fixed. And if it doesn't appear exactly like this, then we feel disappointed, we feel rejected, we feel like a failure, right? So when we give it too much detail, as it were, I find personally that it actually leads to the opposite, right? It doesn't help us to achieve our dreams and goals. It helps us to just feel worse about them. So for me, what I do now, and I encourage you or invite you to explore this, is just how do I want to feel? How am I feeling now? And how would I like to feel? Because at the end of the day, all those things that are out there that you put on your vision board as you're wanting to attain is generally because the underlying thing below that is happiness, a sense of freedom, a sense of autonomy, a sense of knowing who I am, trust in life, inner peace. Those are the core things that we all want, that we think these things are going to bring us. So we look at, so when we're doing a vision board now, do it differently, is like, how do I want to feel? It doesn't matter how, I don't know what's going to bring me that, but how would I like to feel? Because it's that when we start exploring how we want to feel, then those are the things that we can start to explore. Well, this is what might make me feel like that, right? So for those of you who are saying, well, I don't have a direction, I don't have a purpose, I'm not in a stage of my life where I need anything, I don't need a career, I don't need a new relationship. You don't have to. Those are just the things that people want in order to get to where they want to feel, right? So you can decide you don't have to have these things in your life to feel that. It's just exploring your own, how do I want to feel, and what will bring me that? It doesn't have to, that's the thing. It's not about bringing you that. It's about cultivating that inside yourself, right? It's about developing those feelings of whatever you want, the inner peace, etc., inside yourself, right? So for me, for instance, I'll give you an example. So I decided, how would I like to feel? And after writing down lots of different things and journaling, I came up with one specific word, which was equanimity. I've loved this word for years because it really, truly, for me, explains how I would like to feel, which is this, it's a sort of a flow. It's, if you look in the dictionary, it says something like calm and acceptance, even in the face of something challenging. So it doesn't matter what it's about not judging good and bad, right and wrong, getting over emotional about things, getting taken by stories and going on mind rides to crazy land. It's really about just being able to see life for what it is, to embrace life for what it is, a level of acceptance, a level of inner peace, inner calm, regardless of the storm that's happening around me or in life. So that was, for me, that's the word that describes very much of how I would like to feel in my life going forward. More and more, I would like to develop this more and more. And the element that came to me from this was water. It was just as I was, thinking about the word equanimity, water came to mind, because water is all of that. Water is flowing. It's flexible. It finds its way around rocks and over things and down. It continues to flow. It gives life. It gives, it's so flexible and changeable. It comes in ice and snow and rain and water vapor, clouds. It's got so many different forms, and yet it's always flexible and changing. And so that for me as well was, movement of water and the changing of water, and in all its different forms, is something that represents the way I would like to feel, and represents equanimity for me. So that's what my vision board looked like. It looked predominantly, it was just water, and then the word equanimity, and then the other things around that sort of came into place. So there were other things that I might have dragged into there, like adventure. For me, it's about adventure, because adventure opens up new experiences for me, where I can experience these different things and feel the equanimity through them. So whatever that looks like for you, this is where I'm inviting you to perhaps look at vision boarding, and dreaming in a different way, instead of setting fixed goals and then not achieving them. So if this resonates with you, please, I'd love to hear a comment. And of course, everyone's different. Everyone does it a different process. So perhaps you have your own unique process of how you would like to do this. And you're, setting some kind of North Star or something for you to work towards or to develop, because it's natural for us. It's natural for us to want to move forward. And when we're feeling stuck like that, it's because we've accepted that that is all there is. We've accepted that this is life, this is all I'm worth, and, you know, a real pessimistic view on life is where we get stuck. In order for us to get out of that stuckness, we need something. We need some little North Star to move towards. So I'm inviting you to move towards how would you like to feel. So thank you for listening, and I will see you around for the next musing. Bye for now.